So before we start, I wanted to explain to you the various products that Squarespace sells as digital products. So we have basically three types of digital products in Squarespace. We have what I call a multimedia course. That is what I'm teaching in this particular course. That is a collection. Now, if you're familiar with Squarespace, you know that we have all these different page types. We have, regular pages, and then we have collections. Collections are literally collections of things, so blog posts, shop items, portfolio items, events. All of these are collections. And the new courses feature is also a collection. It's basically a collection of modules and lessons, so the lessons in courses are kind of, like blog posts. But we also have chapters and actually folders, that we can create in this particular collection type. And the way this works in courses is, we can add all kinds of things to that. That's why I call it a multimedia, course platform, because we can add videos and written content. We have full access to Fluid Engine design. We can add photo galleries, and we have, chapters and lessons. We have a navigation sidebar that is unique to courses, and I love it so much. We have lesson tracking, where students can check off lessons that they have completed. So we have a lot of options with this, and it's a wonderful, wonderful new addition, to the Squarespace page types. The other one is video courses. That's actually been around for a while. And this is basically for, videos. So each collection type is a video page, and you can use categories to organize it. And you can also have things like related videos. That is really good for courses that are mostly video based. In like yoga classes always comes to mind. That's always a good example of this. So that is also a collection. And then the third one is member sites. That is what used to be called member areas. And we've actually had member sites for, 2 years, something like that, maybe even longer than that. And member sites are actually folders, so they are like a folder that sits behind a paywall. And it's like any folder in Squarespace. You can add different types of pages in there, so you can actually add a multimedia course into a member site. You can add a video course into a member site. You can also add a blog, a shop, events, portfolios, basically any of the other collection types. And I will demonstrate that in a moment. And regular pages, so I hope that this is making it a little bit clearer, as to, the different digital product types, because I think sometimes people get a little confused about that. And, it's really important to understand, the difference, because then each of them has different functions. Now, if in this lesson, if you actually go down, I make notes on each of these types. And then, kind of what examples of what they might be good for, so multimedia course, which is the one you're taking here, is good for, technical courses, business courses, like marketing and that kind of stuff, arts and craft courses, because they often also want to have written content, for instance, because they share resources, or maybe they, share techniques and writing, and things like that. But basically any course that has both video and written content. And then, video courses are great for things like online yoga classes or cooking classes, that kind of thing, that is mostly video focused. And member sites, can be good for all kinds of things, like multi-level membership programs, a place where you have news and announcements, and where you want to have private blogs, or maybe you want to have private events, or a private gallery, or member-only shops. So, there are actually quite a few use cases for member sites as well. So I'm going to show you now what this actually looks like on a test website here. Now, first of all, if you cannot see member sites, let me just move myself here. If you don't see that in your website navigation, if you go to settings And then here under website, we have member sites, and make sure it's turned on. So when you turn it on, you'll be able to see all of this here. This is where you do that. And once you do that, you will be able to see it in your website pages menu. So on the side here, you will have, the 3 sections: main navigation, the not linked section, and now you'll also be able to see member sites. So member sites is kind of special in that regard. It's very much its own container. You cannot put a member site into a not linked section. It doesn't work like that. And then if we look at the member sites, so we can add multiple member sites here, and we can actually have more than 10 now. We used to have a limit of 10, but that's been lifted. So we can have lots if you wanted to. And if you look at, I didn't want to create a new member site. I just wanted to show you because I already created one here for testing this. So if we go into a member site, let me just delete that one again. So here, we can add all these pages. Remember, it's a folder. So if I click on add page, I have all the regular page options here that I have, available in Squarespace. So, I can add links even, so I could link out to, for instance, a Facebook group or like a private group if you have a group attached to your program. And then, we have the regular pages here. You can have pre-styled layouts if you want. You can even add, a scheduling page here, and you can add any of these collections, including a video page and a course page. And I've just made some examples here, so you have to choose a homepage for the member site, so in this case, we just call it welcome. And then this is it here. And then you can style it as you wish, so for instance, here you can, have an overview of what's inside your, your course or your program. And, and then you can just link out, to all these different things here, but it's quite nice to have just a visual overview for this. And then what is also nice is, because of how member sites works, is that you can choose to replace your website header navigation with the member site navigation. So when someone is logged in to your website, they will see the member site navigation. So here you can see it here on the right, so here we can see then, all of the content that is inside the member site, and people can just easily navigate between that. And, so if they wanted to go to all classes, for instance, this one uses a video page. So here we have all the, the videos for, in this case, the yoga classes. And because we can use categories in a video page, we can also do this, your customers or your students can filter it down, so they can just click on any of this here. And then they, can just go into a video page, and this is a full size video. And then they can just play it, and you have some notes that you can add at the bottom here as well, but they are very limited. Like you have no styling options here at all, which is why this is not really a good format if you also want to have written content, for instance. But if you only want to use videos, then this is a really good way of doing that. And we do have these, breadcrumbs here as well, so we have a navigation at the bottom. We also have, and you can decide what you want to show here for each of your videos, a related, section. So you might also so here are some more suggestions, so that's customizable, which is nice. And we have the breadcrumbs here, so you can just easily get back to the, to the landing page for all the videos. So that is really nice, and then someone can also go, for instance, the shop page, so if you want to sell, yoga gear, for instance, or have affiliate links or anything like that, you could have a shop page. Obviously this is not yoga stuff here. This is just the demo content from Squarespace. And then here, I thought, well, you could even add a course here as well about the history of yoga. Why not? If you know something about it, it might be interesting for your members, because this is kind of like, I called it the yoga club, right? This is the yoga club. And you have all kinds of resources in this club, including a course on the history of yoga, your shop, your actual classes, and then introduction pages. And then this one here, for instance, would then use, the course feature. And then here, the people can go and use the sidebar, to navigate, because this is a course. But also, from anywhere in here, there's no content in here. This is just a demo page, but they can, use the sidebar for inside the course. And then they can also still go to all the other areas of their club in this case. And, so this is how you may want to use, member sites, so there's still a lot of good things that we can actually do with that. Now, for our purposes, we are looking at, at just the courses feature, because that is new, and that is what I want to show you how to use. And if you want to use that on its own, you can. So you can even move things around as well. So I could, for instance, move my course into the not linked section now. So now it's standalone. I could also move my, not the shop. I could move my video page. I could move the shop as well, but I could move the video page as well into the not linked section. So now these two are standalone classes. And that means you can actually sell them on their own as well. So you don't have to sell them as part of a member site. You can actually sell them on their own. So remember, we have our digital products. These are our 3 types of digital products. And multimedia courses and video courses can be sold, standalone, in which case you would have them in the not linked section, or they can be sold as part of a member site, because as you've just seen, you can easily add them to a member site as well. And so I hope that this makes sense, so it definitely bears some thinking about what, how you want to structure your own classes and programs. Is a member site maybe something that would make sense to you? For instance, another use that I can see for a member site is that you can also add, for instance, a blog, and a blog might be useful for things like announcements. If you have regular updates or announcements in your course, then you could have an announcement page here, and you could just use blog posts for that. Or, if they're just short announcements, you could just have literally a page that you update, with content as well. And, and again, then up here, we have that in our navigation. So it can be quite interactive. Now, we don't have a forum. We don't have, a discussion platform. Squarespace doesn't have that. You could use the blog feature, to have people leave comments, so you can engage in the comment section. But if you want to have a group or something like that, then it's probably still best to go somewhere else for that. That's what I do. I have a group and I use Facebook for that. Facebook groups, even though I don't like Facebook either, like so many people, but it still is actually the most convenient and best place for my group, so that's what I use. And you could then, for instance, also, have something for that in your class. You can add a link to that, so here, for instance, on the landing page of your course, you can link to the private Facebook group, for instance, so that people can find it easily. So I hope that this has helped, to have a better understanding of these 3 different digital product types that we have available in Squarespace. And you will now learn a lot more on how to use the multimedia course feature. And I can't tell you, after all these years of, using and tweaking Squarespace to be able to host my courses on my own website, I am just so happy with this new feature. I think it's really awesome. And I really look forward to showing you all the ins and outs of it.